Hello everybody, this is Graeme. Today I'm going to be looking at Raha of the Ganges, Cards, and Karma. Now this is a card version of a larger game called Raha of the Ganges. Now I really enjoyed the original one, the Raha of the Ganges game. It has some dice rolling and dice placement, and they're going to be rolling different colored dice to take different actions on the board. The original game also has an interesting scoring mechanisms where you have kind of two tracks you can move up on, and when your markers cross, that signals the end of the game. They've tried to do the same type of this, and we'll get into it when I show you the game. Now, you don't need to know anything about the original game to play this one. But if you have played the original, you're definitely going to see some things that are going to remind you of the older brother game. Now, because I like the original game so much, I was a little leery of the card game version of it. Now, would it be able to keep the same kind of feel of the original while introducing a shorter and lighter gameplay? Well, there's really only one way to find out. So, will this game be like a magnificent boat floating down the Ganges River, or should it just be tossed overboard? Let's get at the table, see how it's played, and we'll come back for my final thoughts on Raha of the Ganges, Cards, and Karma. Here's Cards and Karma set up for 3 players. Each player takes their 6 scoring cards and their 2 overview cards of their color. The administrator cards, coins, fame, and karma tokens are off to one side. Shuffle the card deck, and each card is double-sided. One side shows a die color and a number, while the other side is the action side. Place the deck with the action side facing up, and each player draws 4 cards into their hand, but they're going to be using the dice side of the cards so you flip them over, not the action side. The cards are then dealt to the middle of the table depending on the player count. For this 3 players, it's a 4x4 grid. The starting player is given the Stardefant marker. Now the game is played over a number of rounds until one player has turned over all of their scoring cards. These are turned over when either you get 6 coins, or you get 3 fame tokens. As soon as you have either one of those, you must turn one of your scoring cards over. Each round of the game, players will take 2 turns. On your turn, you'll take 1 of 5 actions. Take a die card, a building card, a ship card, a goods card, or a palace action card. To take a die card, you just take any card from the table. Flip it over and add it to your other die cards. Now each action card will show you the color of the die on the back, but not the die value. You do have a hand limit of 8 cards. If you're about to go above that limit, you must discard cards first before taking any new cards. To take a building card, you must discard die cards from in front of you so that all the colors match and the total die value sums up to at least the value of the building you are buying. Overpayment is allowed, but you don't get any change. Place the building in a row in front of you, and there are 3 different types of building in the game, and each card will have 1 or 2 buildings. After taking the card, you also receive the fame tokens as shown on the building card. To take a ship card, you must discard a single card that has the exact die value as shown on the ship. 1, 2, or 3. It doesn't matter the color, but it must be a single card. Place the ship on a separate row in front of you. There are 28 ships, numbered 1 through 28, and when placing a new ship in front of you, it must go to the end of your ship line. If it is higher than the last ship in the row, that's fine. If it's lower, you must discard all the other ships and start the row again with your newly acquired ship. Now all the ships when played will give their player a reward for taking it as shown in the bottom right. To take a goods card, they're free. Place them on their own row. There are 3 different types of goods, and each card will have 1 or 2 different goods. The goods themselves will also have a coin value, but you only get that when you sell those, which I'll talk about in a bit. The last action you can do is take a palace action card. You must discard a single card with the exact value for that palace card. Take the card, do its action. Once you've taken your action, you're always checking for 3 of a kind in your tableau. And this game is all about sets of 3. If you have 3 of the same type of building, discard all the cards that show that building and receive an ambassador card. If this is your 3rd type of building, so you now have at least 1 of each of the 3 types of buildings, discard all the cards showing the 3 different buildings and get an ambassador card. The 3rd of a single type of good, from ships, buildings, and goods cards, you get coins for that one type of good and discard all the cards you gain money from. For the 3rd different type of good, again from ships, buildings, and good cards, add up the coins for only those 3 goods and receive the coins in discard cards. Your 3rd ships gets a new ambassador card and you discard the ships. 3 karma tokens are discarded to get you administrator card, and 3 administrator cards gets you 2 fame tokens. Karma tokens can be used to manipulate the die value of your cards. Each one can change the die value on a card by plus or minus 1, and you can use several karma tokens in one transaction. Administrator cards can be used in one of 3 ways. At the end of your turn, you can return an administrator card to take another turn immediately. An administrator can also act as a die numbered 1 through 6 in any color when taking your card. Or return the administrator to draw 2 dice cards from the top of the deck, making sure to pay attention to the 8-card hand limit. Once everyone has done one action and it's back to the starting elephant holder, flip it over and that player will receive 1 fame token. Players then take a second action. At the end of the round, the grid is refilled and the start elephant moves to the next player. Now the main point of getting these 3s of things is to get coins and fame tokens. When you have 3 fame tokens, you must turn them in and flip over the leftmost card in your row from the day to night side. Whenever you have 6 coins, you flip over the rightmost card to its night side, and you're going to receive the nighttime bonus for the card you just flipped over. As soon as a player manages to flip over the 6th card, that current round is finished. The player who flipped over their 6th card is the winner. Now, if multiple players were able to flip over the 6th card during that same round, then add up their fame tokens. Fame is worth 2 points and a coin is worth 1. And whoever has the most points among those that flipped over all of their cards is the winner. Now, let's get back to see what I thought about Raha of the Ganges, cards, and karma. Theme and components. For me, the theme is non-existent. I'm not even sure what it's supposed to be. I mean, the rulebook talks about taking place during the Mughal Empire, and the players are building up magnificent buildings and selling valuable goods. I didn't really get that at all during my gameplay. So let's just say the game is themeless. It's not a bad thing, but if you're looking for a deep, immersive game, this is not it. Now the components are fine. I do wish they used different symbols on the goods cards, because that's a good card and that's a building card. I wish that this looked more like a market instead of just a tent. It wasn't a big deal, but I did have to remind people on a few occasions, oh, that's not a building. That's a building. This is a goods cards. Now the costs do set them apart, so there is that. The cardboard components are fine. I do like the start event. I don't know why it's just silly, but I do like it. So all in all, the components were adequate. For the gameplay, I wasn't overly taken with it, mainly because there's just so much churn in this game. I never felt like I was getting any combos going or any engines going. As soon as you got 3 the same or 3 different, you lost those cards. And you did this over and over and over again. Take cards, buy cards, get a set, turn them in, rinse and repeat. It really didn't seem to matter what you were collecting either. You just collected and turned in. You're not going to be going for a game length ship strategy or building strategy. You just tended to take what was the best on your turn and what you thought you could get the quickest turnaround for. And I don't want to say this game is all bad. The game is fast. Turns are pretty quick because there's not a huge depth of strategy. I did feel like you needed to be watching for those sets of 3. Most time they're obvious. 3 buildings, you know that they're there. But for goods, they can be split amongst the different cards. There could be goods cards, there could be goods on ships. So watching for those was maybe not as obvious. And I do like the multi-use cards and the option to almost hate draft other people when there's nothing I can or want to buy. Or if I'm forced to take a die card because there's nothing else to do, I'm going to take one that you need and try and take it away from me. Now there is a fair bit of randomness in the game. You have no idea what the numbers are on the reverse side of the action cards. And it does seem that the high cards are generally better as they give you much more flexibility when buying buildings. So, that's kind of a plus or negative, depending on how you look at it. The palace cards are a nice little touch to the game, and I felt that these 6 ones, which allow you to draw the top card and just put it directly into your tableau, maybe a bit too powerful, but man, it was always fun to get one of these because I'm going to just take that card and play it. I don't have to pay for it. The administrator cards were very powerful as well, and always having an option of an extra turn or a wild card or taking 2 die cards from the draw pile, it always felt like it was good to have one of those in reserve. Now the game does feel like a race as players are kind of barreling towards flipping over the 6 cards. It didn't really seem to matter how the players did it. It was just that constant, quick churn, and then you started again. So would I recommend this? I don't think I would. Although there were some high points in it, it's just not a game that fits kind of what I'm looking for. Maybe it's going to be what you're looking for. It didn't suit me well. I did like the multi-use cards. Knowing the color but not the value was interesting. I like that the drafting aspect of the game and being able to do that little hate drafting if there's nothing I can afford on the table. I really like the palace cards as they kind of alternate up the gameplay just a tiny bit. I also appreciated just how quick the game was. I played multiple games with 3 and 4 players that were done in like 30 minutes, so it's a nice quick game. Unfortunately though, I just didn't find the main mechanism overly enjoyable after my first play or 2. I don't like that it comes down to just a set collection exercise with random card pulls. There's a die that is, the die value is random. You can get into situations and it's not uncommon where there's nothing for you to do, so you just take a guard because. For me, this doesn't come anywhere close to the original game in terms of enjoyment. Overall though, I am going to give this one a 6 out of 10. There is some enjoyment to be had, but if I want kind of that Raha of the Ganges feel, I'm going to play the original. And if I want something shorter and lighter, I'm not sure this would be the one I'm going to reach for. But that's it for the moment. Until next time, thanks for watching.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us for that video. If you haven't yet, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hey, make sure you check out what's happening, where I'll cover an app on an iOS or a Switch device, and you can check it out along with me. Thanks very much. You've been watching The Dice Tower.